Hey folks, AJ the CEO here, and we got ourselves another little toy here from UniFi. This is the UniFi Intercom. This is not the Apple Pay one. This is the first one that they came out with. This is a intercom system that ties into the UniFi access line that we're going to be installing at a church. So this is going to replace their old system so that this can buzz in people, take pictures of people, give codes to people, all this other stuff, just like any other access you would have into an apartment or office building. So let's go ahead and open this thing up and see what's inside. Alrighty. And again, I'm excited about this because this is one that we're going to be installing at First United Methodist Church in Elgin. So this thing is way bigger than I thought it was going to be. So inside of here, we have a humongous mounting plate here with a template here. And I need to make sure I keep all of this in its order because this is what I'm taking in my luggage when I fly out there, because I want to get my hands on it first to do a review for y'all before I get out there. We got the unit itself. We have some screws that will go into the plate, and this plate is metal or aluminum. It is very dense. We have some mounting screws, so this will be mounted into the brick. And we have our manual, and that's mainly everything that comes in this. So let me put all of this back because I will be using all of this. All right, let's punch in a little bit and let's look at the device itself. So nice tactile buttons there. And let's get the layer of plastic off of here. All right, so here on the back, we have just pretty much our Ethernet in, and we have our reset there. And well, I can see right there, that's gonna grab a lot of fingerprints here. We got two speakers here at the top, and I don't have a light on, so hopefully y'all can see well with this. We got our camera right there. We got a humongous screen. I believe it's touch. We got our buttons here that look like they light up, and then we also have a doorbell button right there. Very, very straightforward. So I need another Ethernet cable so we can hook this thing up and we can see what it do. Hopefully this cable is long enough to reach. Set it this way. Hopefully that'll work. And plug it in there. I don't believe that needs PoE++. I'm just regular PoE. Now, I just recently did a video on the Door Hub Mini. We also have the Access Ultra. So we got a bunch of locks. I got like a magnetic lock here, and we also have Strike. So there we go. We got our camera there looking in on us and have to get everything adopted. It does have an NFC, so if you have a card here, you can swipe with that. So let's cut over to the computer behind me and let's get this whole thing set up. Alrighty, so I made a mistake on here. I actually hooked it directly up to a switch, and that's not how this works. This one actually needs to plug into a hub. So I'm glad we just got that recent Door Hub Mini. So I ended up connecting that into one of its PoE connections, and it is PoE+, not plus plus. So as you can see, there we go. There's our intercom. Let's go ahead and adopt it. And it looks like we got a new feature here under our caller. So here is our interface for the intercom. So in here, you can change the design and all this other stuff. How do you want this to be? The layout, do you want it to be horizontal? Do you want it to be vertical? I like vertical. Right there, we can give it a name. So we'll just say, and I guess you could do main entrance here, but actually I missed this. Let's do an update real quick. Alrighty, so everything looks like it's updated. So now let's go look at it. I've changed the name of the hub, and the door just gave it a main door because that's what it's going to be. So let's go here. Let's look at our options. As you can see, that is the camera looking up at the ceiling. So it's not like you have to install a new camera there. You can actually see who's coming up to the door. For there, we got our regular settings here. We got our activities. That's a call history. it doesn't look like this interacts directly with the UniFi talk, but we'll see how that's going to work here. I do have it set up for that. Let's go to our settings. So in here, this is where you can change the name. You can create a directory and callers and receivers. So we can go here, our call manager, and this goes to our setup. So it gives our functionality of, we got a directory button and it's interactive. So if you click on here, it actually navigates to that stuff and shows you the screen. But we have our doorbell here, and I don't have it hooked up to anything. I can hook it up to a chime that I have here, which reminds me, maybe I should get a chime for someone else. But we can link it to users, who's it going to call, or we can go to numbers and it can actually dial a number. I'm going to see how that works. Add a phone number to receive calls. Use pound to separate extensions. So I'm gonna have to play around with that because I don't have it hooked up to dialing anybody right now. I want to see how this works. I do have a chime, but my chime is all the way upstairs. And I'm gonna check this off to see if it'll call me because I am registered in here. These are the numbers in my UniFi talk. So let's see how that works if we hit the doorbell. So we save that. In our interface, we can change our logo. I thought we can change our background so we can upload anything there. We can do horizontal or vertical. I just did welcome United Methodist, First United Methodist Church here. That heading, you're limited on how much space is going to wrap around, so be mindful of that. And we can also configure our access methods on what do we want it to use. We can set up NFC cards. We can use mobile unlock with a mobile button or a mobile tap. We can use face unlock. Some people might not like that. That's off. You can also set pins and keyboard layout. I would kind of want that to be randomized. And you could do a QR code. So you got multiple ways of setting up access into this. If we scroll down some more, recordings, record videos for unlock events. So anytime somebody comes to the door and it wants to unlock, you can have a log of who came there and all that other fun stuff. How many seconds before, how many seconds after, so 5 and 5. We can do voice greetings that if you're in the system, what is it going to do? What is it going to say? We can just have first name, do full name, do none. I'm going to have first name, and we can give a message, welcome, hello, hi, or none. I'm just going to do welcome. And under advanced, what else we got? At the top, there's actually a floodlight, so you can actually turn that on. When enabled, the floodlight automatically activates when detecting motion on low light. We can turn that on. Show unlock schedule on reader screen. The reader screen displays the unlock end time when the door is unlocked according to the schedule. I kind of wouldn't want to do that because that's the main door. Auto display brightness. That's fine. And that's pretty much it. So let's apply that. And now let's go back and actually test out and see exactly what this is going to do. Again, I have this hooked up to my office phone, my UniFi phone right here. So let's see what it actually does. All righty. So if we cut over here and we look at what's going on with this, as you can see, we got the screen and everything set up here. I do have it connected to the hub mini right there. I don't believe this will work going directly into a switch. I will test it out, but let's punch in here. I added myself as an entry in the directory. So if we go to directory, there's me. So if I tap there, so I'm actually getting a phone call. So that's interesting. Oh, no, that was actually UniFi Protect that actually did that. So let's try that one more time. And I'm wondering why my phone didn't ring. That's what I would prefer to actually ring. Let's try the doorbell one and let's see where does that go. Let me zoom out a little bit here. So again, see, I'm getting a call here. I would have liked to get a phone call. So again, it's showing the app. So very interesting. Let's see. I do have a card identified. So let's see. I do have a magnetic lock right here. Let's zoom out a little bit so you can see my full setup. I do have a magnetic lock right here. So let's see. So it let me in and it unlocked the door. And then it's back to being locked. So I want to see how that performs with the phone again. So if I come in here, we can do the directory. I have it dialing my extension, which is the extension over here to my phone. I thought it would do that. So, hello. So that's going back through the app that allowed me to talk here. I want to see how we can get this so that it shows up on our phone. So I might have to play around with the directory a little bit and how it's going to call. I thought since this is all, a unified system, that it would actually dial into that. It could be that I'm setting it up wrong, but let's see what else we have on here. We also have options of, instead of using the card, we could do a PIN entry and we'll dial in that. I mean, you have an option to put a keypad that randomizes it, or you can put the code in by pressing the numbers directly here. So invalid PIN, obviously. I thought I had the QR code turned off, but I can see that possibly working, and then you don't have to worry about handing this out. You're just doing logistically, you just got to be mindful of, if you set that QR code, if I did something like that, I would give it to like a maintenance person or something like that, and you only got one chance to use it. And then after that, it's just done. But then it's going to show who is actually showing up to it. It is showing in military time. Doesn't look, I didn't see a setting where I can actually change that if I didn't want it to be in 24-hour settings right there. But a main thing is I need to play around with the directory and making that, because what I'm going to do is we're adding UniFi phones at First United Methodist too. And I would like it when somebody hits this to actually go to the phone. Now, I know the phone does have access to get into the access stuff. So let me actually go into that and let me see if that works. So I do have an access control here and I got to activate it. I thought it was already activated. All right, so I'm logged into my phone now. So let's try this again. I want this to actually ring over here. So if I do a ring, so it is ringing over on the phone now. And I see an image of that. All right, so that's cool. So now if I go to directory, will it call me? Let's see. So it's calling me again as well too. So that works. So by having the phone set up with this system, now they could actually pull up the app there and then just go to it. So let me go back to the phone and I'll cut over so y'all can actually see what this looks like. I'm gonna go back to the phone and now let's see if it jumps from the phone back to the UniFi access since I'm logged in. So it does bring that up. So I had to be logged in for that to work. So inside of here, let's cut over so you can actually see here, and let's zoom out. And as you can see, this light signifies that the lock is on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back, call myself, and then unlock it from the phone. All right, so I see an image here. I can press the answer or unlock. So as you can see, I just unlocked the door. And now it locked back. So really straightforward. I need to make sure to turn that off so it's not still talking back to here. So again, I'm wondering now, will this show up as a regular camera under security, or is it separate? So let's go back over here to the computer and let's see what it shows for us there. All right, we're back over here. And like I said, we can play around with a bunch of this stuff here. We could have it unlock with the mobile unlock. I'm gonna let them choose for that. I'm gonna turn off the QR code. So it's mainly just gonna be PIN, or maybe I'm just gonna leave it on NFC. Well, I'll just do it on both for right now. So we'll apply that. But let's see where the recordings of all of this is. So here is my insights on the device. So it shows that when it was unlocked, who unlocked it, someone here, all this other stuff that is talking back. So if we have our inventory of directory of people, it will show all of that information. Let's see. Let's go over to UniFi Protect. And does that show? So it's not listed here, and it won't show any recordings that way either. Oh, actually, wait a minute. It does. Then why doesn't it show that? Oh, I looked over it. It's right there. It does show there. So good. So it does show in UniFi Protect. So it gathers all those recordings, even though it's from Access, and it pushes us over. Good. I do like that. So now you're not jumping all over the place. So in here, you can track if somebody comes in the door, and depending on how your cameras are, you can actually track them and see a history of where they're going. And then with the smarter UniFi stuff with Protect 5.0 and higher, you can actually make a case of following this person or track certain persons. So, you know, say, God forbid you got something, an issue, you can show, okay, who let them in? How did they get in? Especially if you have all the doors monitored, who let them in? How did they get in? Did they put a code in? So say somebody put a code in, now, you know, that person, if James has a code, but then the person who's showing up on the camera ain't James, you can see that person's code is compromised, and you can deactivate it, turn it off, or do anything like that. Really, really cool stuff. I've always wanted to play around with one of these, and thankfully I do have an opportunity to play around with this. So I'm gonna take this camera down. My action camera here, and I'm gonna put this over here so you can see what it actually does again, because I didn't have it, so you couldn't see exactly what was going on. But let's set this up, and I just dropped my mount on the floor. And we'll set this up so you can actually see what was going on with how this works. So let me get all the lights out of the way so you can actually see it. And we're gonna set up the whole thing again of what's going on here. And actually, let me put this sideways. Might as well use the vertical shooting so we can get a good shot and easy setup for recording this. So we got it recording, mark right there. So in here, I come back to the main screen here. Let's go over here so y'all can see it. We're back here. We also got our stuff still locked. We can come in here and just ring the doorbell. So it shows up over there. And it's actually showing up on my phone as well too. So if anybody had access in the app, they'll be able to see that. Let's go to the directory, and I can dial me. So in here, if I come over here and hit unlock, so now the door has been unlocked. Now I'm wondering how long this is going to stay on. So I would have to end the call, but that allowed people to come straight in. If I had a pin, I think I have a pin set up. I really don't remember what it is. Let's see. Let's actually just set one real quick. All right. So now I have a pin set. I could come in here and I'll keep this off so you can't see what I'm typing in. There it goes. So I guess it took a second for it to sync. So that's another way to let me in, and you can change the volume and all this other fun stuff. So really like playing with this stuff. It's very rare that I get a chance to get some of this stuff. This is going for $3.99. The other version I think is $4.79 that has Apple Pay. I'm wondering how the Apple Pay would work with that. That's interesting. I have to think what way would I need somebody to pay to get in. But anyway, link is down below if you're interested in getting one. Be on the lookout for the videos, multiple videos that we do next week when we're up in Chicago, where we're actually installing, well, mainly it's going to be pulling a whole bunch of cables. And then, I'm going to probably have to procure myself a hammer drill on site because that church is stone and brick. So to go outside, we're going to have to drill through and get this stuff here, run some cables over to the PoE switches that we're putting in for PoE++ to go to this, and all the other fun stuff. I think one other thing I wanted to try before I end it, I'm gonna disconnect this and plug this directly into my switch, and I wanna see if this will work. In the instructions, it said it has to go into a hub. So I think that's just the final thing I wanna test with this. But I do like the fact that they do sell an intercom that is like a one-way so you can actually see what's going on. But the fact that everybody's gonna have a phone who's gonna have access to press the release button to let somebody in, the fact that it will go to their phones because we're installing that phone, and the head admin, the pastor, I think in the media area, somewhere upstairs and some other places where key people are. So they'll be able to get access to see what's going on. So we got it connected directly. Let's see, will this still work? So that part still works. And then if we go back over to our overhead here, and let's go back to our pin. It's not liking that. And it's the exact same pin. So I'm wondering if it needs to be connected through that. Let's try our card here. See, it's not liking that either. I'm wondering if it has to be connected directly to this hub. So mental note that if you do get one of these, you're going to have to use some type of hub to have it connected to. And in my situation, we're going to have an exit button so people have to hit to walk out. And I may actually do a sensor so that when somebody walks near kind of like you don't want to have a sensor, because if somebody's trying to get in and you don't want them in and they walk up to the door and the sensor unlocks the door, then somebody can just walk in. You'd rather have somebody physically press a button to let it come in there. And now my phone is saying there was something going on with this. So let's try it one more time. Now that we're connected directly to the hub, let's try the pin one more time. And I know I'm pressing the right numbers. See, that worked. And more importantly, we had a card. So we want to see maybe it has to be connected to a hub for it to work. And I guess that now that I think about it, it kind of makes sense. So say you had some bootleg version of this, you disconnected this, and then you hooked it up somewhere else, and you were forcing somebody to tell you, I know that's an extreme, but makes sense. Kind of confusing a little bit, but hey, we got it there working. So that is the UniFi Intercom. Really cool. I mean, I love playing with this stuff because how often does anybody play with an intercom system and door access and magnetic locks and stuff like that? So I am very grateful to being able to play along with this stuff, and just thankful that a lot of churches are trusting me to implement this stuff there. I've done door access somewhere else, but the intercom is going to be something new. So the fact it's built on stuff that we're already using. So I do like the fact that once you start adding this stuff on, you can just start with your Wi-Fi, and then you can expand out into security cameras. You can expand out into telephone. You can expand out into door access. And they do have an EV charger. Doesn't have the NAX adapter. Maybe if they do that, I might even go to that. But really cool with all the stuff. So be on the lookout for us going to Chicago next week, and we install some stuff and set this up with the directory, with the church and all this other stuff. So I think that's going to be really cool. And hopefully it opens the eyes of whatever options that are available, because again, we're using this and doing door access and all this other stuff that we're going to tie into their fire alarm and all this other stuff, because Ubiquiti came out with new stuff to tie into that. So you can have emergencies, lockdown, all that other fun stuff. But I don't know, I'm getting excited just for playing around with stuff that I never thought I was going to get a chance to play around with. So that's pretty cool. But anyway, link is down below if you're interested in getting one of these. Again, I got this from B&H Photo because I needed it quick, fast, in a hurry, next day delivery. But you can get this from Ubiquiti directly as well. So link is going to be down below for both of these. And I think that's about it. So if you have any other questions, leave them down below. I try and get back to you. I'm going to have access to this for about 2 weeks, and then I'll have access to it remotely in Chicago after it's been installed. So we can answer some questions as best as possible and give you some use cases on how it's being used and how they're liking it, and vice versa, from going from the old intercom to the new one. So I think that's about it. So if you like this type of content, appreciate a like, consider subscribing, hit that bell, the way you get notified when we come out with other videos to help modernize your media ministry. Thanks for watching, folks. This is AJ. Catch you on the next video. Later.